Hello, everybody. It has been a long-ass time since I last spoke to you about leagues, and today I'm here to talk to you about leagues. Now, in the third season of the GPC, I dropped out as a competitor. One, because I was busy, and there were a lot of things happening in my life, and two, because I wanted to be an analyst. I wanted to see how I could try my hand at analyzing what happened throughout the season. And then Season 4 discussions started, and I decided I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to put what I know about leagues now to the test with all of the knowledge I've gained over time, and I rejoined the GPC. So we are in the fourth season of the GPC with a different team this time. Now, if you remember what I did with casual leagues and whatnot, I rebranded my team name, and we are now the Five Island Fossils. So this stands for more than just the Orlando Helix. This stands for all of the fossils. This stands for what you can do with the diversity of the fossils. With all the ideas from the past, you can still make something fantastic and new. And I keep that theme throughout the draft, throughout my gameplay. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good season. I know what I'm doing now. I know how to approach this now. I approach this season with a totally different draft plan than anything I had done before, and I think this is one of the best drafts I've ever had. Honestly, this is an incredible draft. I don't know how I got this draft. To be perfectly honest with you, I have 9 stupendous Pokemon that are all awesome, and then a meme pick. Like, it's great. It's great. So anyway, the rules applied as normal with this GPC draft. We had a lot more new players, and a few bans that are kind of atypical, but not exactly typical. It changes, but Kyurem Black was finally banned. Jesus Christ. Megalodios was also banned. There were a few bans for this season, but one thing that was not banned was Landorus Incarnate, which I'm very afraid of. But that being said, I went into this draft at the 9th position of 10. We are in Division B, and Division B has a lot of people I recognize, but the ones that I don't recognize, I have no clue how well they play. And as for the ones that I do recognize, some of them are good and others are at least okay. So I know I'm going to have a difficult time with this season, but I'm not going to be nearly as bad as Season 2. I know that, at least. So first, I'm going to go over my drafts and how I went about it this season. Now, I said that I had a different approach to the draft. And I did. I had a totally different approach. I approached this with a huge list. I'm not talking like, I'll take this first and this second and this third. I had a huge list of priority picks. So I went, alright, so these Pokemon can do almost everything. These are great mixed attackers. These are great physical attackers that can take hits. These are great special attackers that can take hits, etc., etc. And I set some requirements for my team. I needed a Cleric. I needed a bulky water type. I needed a Mega Evolution. I needed something that could set up hazards. I needed something that could pivot either defensively or offensively. Offensively was preferred. Stuff like that. So when it's all said and done, the team came together, and I've got everything I need. I've got setup sweepers. I've got priority users. I've got scarfers and bands, specs, focus sash user, you name it. My team's got it. This team is fantastic. I really like it. So let's go over the team. First up, we have tornadus-t as my round 1 pick. All of the tier prices were boosted, and everything in OUA is now 18 points. So I saw this as a great chance to pick up something that I knew was highly valued, and I kind of expected to get taken before me, but I didn't completely expect to be taken before me. A lot of good things went in round 1, such as Landorus Incarnate, like I already mentioned. Stuff like Manaphy, totally blanking. A lot of Megas went in round 1, but one thing to note is when I was looking at this, I thought that, okay, if I don't take a great mixed attacker now, it's going to be hard for me to get one later. And I was thinking that I could get XY Greninja. And then I saw Tornadus-t, and I'm thinking, wait, no, this thing is a great mixed attacker. It can do physical or special offense, and it's a fantastic pivoter. So this thing can get in at the start of a match, switch right the hell out with its ridiculous 121 speed, and regenerate any HP it lost from a Life Orb. And Tornadus-t, Tornadus goddamn Therian is on my team. 32 double D. I mean, it looks like it has little. You know what I mean. I'll point to what I mean and then take the arrow off screen. Now, Tornadus-t was my round 1 pick, and after the Crawthorne Crabhammers made their 2 picks, because they were the 10th in the draft, it came back to me, and I decided now was a better time than ever to also take something that could pack a serious punch. And I wanted a Mega, and I had several Megas in mind, but not like too many Megas. I was all down for taking Mega Scizor again, because Mega Scizor worked wonders for me in the first season. I was down for Mega Camerupt if that was a backup, but that wouldn't have happened round 2. I wouldn't have taken Mega Camerupt round 2. Mega Gardevoir and MegaGalley were both options. Mega Charizard X was an option, but a few Megas went in the first round. So I was thinking, if I don't take this now, it's also going to be gone later. And I wanted something that could hit really solidly with fighting attacks. And I'm like, Gallade, MegaGalley. So I got MegaGalley. Gumby the Gallade is fantastic. I love MegaGalley. Despite the fact that its ability is kind of mediocre, everything else about this thing is nuts. It has insane coverage. It's a great setup sweeper. It's a great substitute user, which is certainly good for a setup sweeper, because you could just kind of set up and use priority behind that substitute. You could even recover with Drain Punch. Like, this thing is nuts. And its unique typing also throws people off. Not to mention, this thing can easily take down most of the other Pokemon in OUA thanks to its coverage. So this thing is just nuts in and of itself. I love it. I'm going to put MegaGalley to serious use with this season, and I'm hoping it works out like I think it will. So then, after a long wait, it came all the way back around to me, and again, going over my checklist of things to get, I needed a Fairy type. Fairy types and bulky water types are the only type-specific things on my to-get list. Like, electric types are extra. They're a bonus. I didn't need a speedy electric type, but a speedy electric type's always good to have. But I really wanted something that was a Fairy type, a good Fairy type. So round 3, I'm kind of surprised it made it to the end of round 3, but I got Florges for, I think it was 12 points for everything. Yeah, it's 12 points for everything in UUA. Florges. I got Florges. I got Chartreuse, I think. I haven't really nicknamed Florges yet. Florges is a interesting case when it comes to nicknames. I can't think of one yet. If you have one, drop it in the comment section or tweet me. And I might consider it, because I don't have a nickname for Florges yet. Gotta have my water. Alright, so Florges. What is there to really say about Florges that hasn't been said? Florges is a fantastic special wall. It has the highest natural base special defense of the game that is not a legendaries or a megas, and that is insane. Florges is a great cleric, a very good special attacker, actually. It has 112 special attack, which is a really high special attack stat considering it's just a big flower. It's just a big flower with a goofy little face, but Florges is awesome in leagues. I've seen so many Florgeses put to good use, and I'm really looking forward to using Florges for myself. Then we have Mandabuzz, my favorite defogger in the game. Hazard removal was another thing on my list that I absolutely needed, and Mandabuzz was there, and I'm like, well, this does help out with psychic types that I know might become a problem later, since I tend to get things that are weak to psychic. That's just me. But I picked up Mandabuzz. I know it's another fairy weakness, but that'll be covered soon enough with a few other Pokemon that don't exactly deal with Fairy too well, but they kind of deal with Fairy. So Mandabuzz was added to the team, a great physical wall to go along with Florges as a special wall. Mandabuzz is a good balanced wall, honestly. Mandabuzz has some great status moves, and this thing shot up to OU from NU when Generation 6 came around, thanks to Defog becoming useful. And ever since then, nobody's really discredited Mandabuzz. Mandabuzz is immune to powder moves, so it can't be sleep powdered or spored. It's immune to painful weather afflictions such as hail and sandstorm. Mandabuzz is really bulky. It has 110 HP and then 105 defense and 95 special defense. That is nuts. Not to mention base 80 speed. It outspeeds some things. So this thing could outspeed a slow bulky attacker and hit them with a really painful foul play. So Mandabuzz is definitely great. I mean, granted, that's the scenario I just gave is not like a typical thing, but Mandabuzz is just really helpful. I'm really looking forward to using Roadkill the Mandabuzz. Christian of the New Jersey Jump Bluff sent me that nickname, so thanks, Chris. And the other two nicknames, I think it was Derek or Admiral Arcanine that recommended 32DD for Tornadus, and Gumby I know was Swagolith for MegaGalley. I don't remember who sent in tornadus-t. I will remember that later, maybe. I don't know if it'll be in the video. All right, so there's the first four right there. Two great offensive Pokemon, two great defensive Pokemon. And I didn't know where exactly to go next, but I know that one thing that was really standing out for me was a bulky water type, and a lot of bulky water types at this point had already gone. And I already had a hazard remover, so I didn't really need to bother about more hazard issues right now. So what I wanted to do is focus on something that I know I'm going to need for my team as a whole. And a few more issues popped up. I noticed I didn't have a solid, pure special attacker, or at least a good assault vest user. I didn't have a good assault vest user yet. I didn't have a good bulky water type yet. I didn't have a good rock setter yet. And I didn't have a good volt switcher to go with a U-turn. So I wanted a speedy special attacker, a bulky special attacker, a special or physical bulky water type, and something that could set up rocks. And those are my next four picks. So the first up was Jellison. Sandwich the Jellison. If you have ever watched SpongeBob, I hope you get that reference. But Sandwich the Jellison, I think is going to work very nicely with all of the water weaknesses that I draft after I drafted Jellison. Jellison is a fantastic bulky water type. This thing gets water absorb, which is just ridiculously helpful with the rampant Manaphy in league play. Manaphy is one of the biggest threats ever in leagues, and so having Jellison on my team definitely takes the weight of a Manaphy off my shoulders, on top of all the other dangerous water types I might encounter. Jellison's also great as a spin blocker. I needed a spin blocker, and I didn't even think about getting a spin blocker when I got Jellison, and after I drafted Jellison I realized, oh yeah, this thing is a spin blocker. So that is another great benefit to Jellison. Gets a really solid move pool, can take lots of special hits. I really like Jellison, so Sandwich has joined the team. And my next pick was Rhyperior. Good old Pete. Shout out to Raikou for Pete, for being named Pete, because I named my Rhyperior Pete, so shout out to you. You're a cool guy. Rhyperior is the rock setter I wanted, on top of simply being a huge fucking tank. This thing takes hits all day on the physical side. And that's all there is to it, right? Rhyperior takes so many physical hits, and it deals an insane amount of damage. It's unfortunate that the whole recoil boosting and recoil removing abilities don't really help him at all, but regardless of that, Rhyperior is a fantastic Pokemon in terms of bulky offense. And I focused on this because I wanted something that could really take hits to go with Tornadus and MegaGalley, because those two can't really take many hits. They do actually. MegaGalley has like a solid special defense, but it has pretty bad HP. So, I took 3 Pokemon in a row with very high HP stats. So Mandabuzz has got 110, Jellison's got 100, Rhyperior's got 115. That's a lot of HP to balance out all of the HP I was lacking. So that was certainly essential. Another great rock setter. Rhyperior can use all sorts of berries, and it's a great block to any Volt Turn cores. So Rhyperior, I got Rhyperior. And then I got Magmortar, round 7, Magmortar. Good old Proto Man. I changed his nickname from Mega Man to Proto Man. But one of my best players in Season 2 of the GPC was Magmortar, and he really caught me by surprise. I had no idea he would be that good. And so I saw Magmortar up this time, and I figured, hey, I gotta have one MVP returning from the past. So I got Magmortar, something familiar, something I know how to use already to quite the extent. So Magmortar is fantastic. He has an immunity to sleeping, so you can't put Magmortar to sleep because he's got Vital Spirit, which is great. It's not like a huge focus, but it's a nice bonus on top of all the other immunities that my team has. In fact, almost everything on my team has an immunity in some way or another, except MegaGalley and one more Pokemon I'll get to later. But that's the meme pick. That doesn't really matter too much. So I'm gonna focus on everything else first. So Magmortar, he's back. He's a bulky special attacker. He's kind of speedy, but not that speedy. But it doesn't really matter too much because Magmortar is here to deal big damage with Fire Blast and Thunderbolt and Psychics and all that good stuff. Magmortar is back. Proto Man, my man. And then we've got Raikou. Now, I had a lot of money left at this point in the draft. I had 20-something, I think 23 points remaining. I had 21 points remaining. And I looked around, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I could take a Volt Switcher out of any other tier. And I'm looking around at the lower tiers, and then I realized that the entire draft of Division B completely skipped over Raikou. And I know Raikou is very good in leagues. I've seen Raikou put to use. I've seen it rise through the tiers over time, because it was in RU for a while, and then it rose to UU, and now it's in OU. And I'm thinking to myself, there has to be a reason for this. And then I looked up Raikou in competitive play, and Raikou is awesome. So I saw this. It was 18 points. So that was 3 of my... That would only leave 3 points left of my 21 that I had remaining at that point in the draft. And I'm like, screw it. I'm taking Raikou. So Raikou is on my team now. Odin the Raikou, because you have to reference the gods. You always reference the gods when you make a team. Always. So Raikou's on the team. I don't know why I said Raikou's on the team as my speedy special attacker. Tornadus kind of already fills that role, but why not have another one, right? So we got Raikou on the team now. Raikou is nuts. Really speedy with 115 speed. The second fastest thing on the team. With a good 100 special defense, 115 special attack, and 90 HP. This thing even has 85 attack. I could even give this thing a physical attack if I wanted to. So, I mean, that's nuts. But the main reason for this is, 1, I have Volt Switch. 2, I have Aura Sphere. Volt Switch and Aura Sphere are 2 fantastic moves that Raikou will probably be using most of the time. On top of having Thunderbolt and Signal Beam and Shadow Ball, and I think Extra Sensory. I think Raikou gets Extra Sensory. So yeah, Raikou's pretty awesome. So I saw this opportunity and I snatched it. And finally, my last regular pick for the 5 Other Than Fossils was Auerbach. Auerbach was somehow only 2 points. And I know Auerbach is pretty good. Auerbach's not great, but Auerbach's honestly pretty good, considering the fact that, one, it's a poison type, which poison types don't have many weaknesses, and that helps out with certain dangerous Pokemon of... it deals with fighting types pretty nicely, for the most part. It can deal with some dangerous grass types, and on top of that, it has Intimidate, which can lower attack upon switching in, and it gets Coil. So this thing will have a defense-boosted Gunk Shot to completely destroy the competition with. If I ever set up to that point, I don't really think I'm going to be using Auerbach too much, but Auerbach is certainly good. It's got priority, it's got good stab, it's got great setup moves, it has Intimidate, which is helpful. So Auerbach's mainly on the team for Intimidate. I'm going to be real here. Auerbach is mainly on the team just for Intimidate, but everything else is still nice to have about Auerbach. My little Sneck is the name of Auerbach. And then finally, my meme pick. This is the only other Pokemon that isn't immune to something on my team. It's Webel. Don't fucking question it. I like Webel. It's adorable. It has spikes and rocks. It has sturdy. It can get shell smash. This thing can be annoying as fuck if I use it right. And I know how to use it now because I've looked up some ways that other people have used Webel, and apparently it's really annoying in the right tier. But I can't make it level 1 for this, but it doesn't matter because it's not like I'm going to give this thing a Violate. Like, are you kidding me? There are plenty of better ways to use Webel in League than, it's a meme pick. I'm not going to use it frequently. He's there as a little joke. You know what? I completely forgot what I named Webel. I don't think I named Webel. So if you have a nickname for Webel as well, send me that. But that is the full team. So that's the 5 Island Fossils, everybody. 5 Island Fossils. I'm very happy with this team. This team is awesome. I really love how well it works together. You've got 2 ground immunities. You've got a paralysis immunity, a toxic immunity, a burn immunity, a fighting immunity, a dragon immunity, a powder immunity, and weather immunity. Did I already said the electric immunity? I have 2 separate Pokemon that are immune to different types of electricity. Like, that's just really great. I've got a psychic immunity. That's right. The only thing that my team kind of lacks as a whole is well, actually, looking at my team doesn't lack too much. It's lacking maybe, God, what am I lacking? I'm not really lacking much at all. I guess I'm lacking a dragon type, but that's not a huge issue. And I'm lacking a steel type, but my team has some really solid defensive Pokemon, so I don't think that's a huge issue either. I already have something that's immune to getting poisoned. So, yeah, that's that. I will say the ice weakness on my team might be a small issue, but with the Jellison on my team and Magmortar, I should be able to take a few ice types on, especially with the fact that MegaGalley can take out most of the ice types that he goes up against, and I have a lot of coverage for ice types. So other than that, that's the 5 Island Fossils. I'm very happy with this team. Let me know what you guys think about my team. I'm really happy with it. This could be... There's so many great cores that could work here. You've got... These Pokemon all cover for each other. Jellison covers for Magmortar and Rhyperior and Webel's water weaknesses. Mandabuzz and tornadus-t cover up for Rhyperior, Magmortar, and Raikou's ground weakness. You've got Florges to take all of the dragon attacks, and you have Florges and Rhyperior working together to take each other's attacks. And then even Jellison can take the steel attacks that that Rhyperior and Florges can't. So that's great. Like, this team it's just so good, man. I love it. I really love it. So now I'm going to go over our team schedule for the season. So our first week will be facing against the Austin Tauros, and that's one of the brand new teams in the league. Second week we take on the Shadow Valley Murkrows, returning from Season 3. Week 3 we take on our old rival Pierre and the V.C.U. Reshirams. I'm really looking forward to that one. Week 4 we fight the eDinburgh Nites. Week 5 we take on the Parasens. Both of those are from Season 3. Week 6 we take on the Wolverhampton Wongullers, which are new to this season, but I have faced them in other leagues, and let me tell you, their coach, Moldy Pot, is kind of scary, so a little worried about that. Another 2 newcomers. We have Week 7, the Brisbane Pyroar, or Lion, who definitely scares me, especially with his team. He sniped a few of things that I wanted over time, but in the end, what he ended up sniping from me actually benefited me in the long run, so I don't really mind that anymore. But Brisbane Pyroar Week 7, and then Week 8 we have the Atlanta Talonflames, and Week 9 from Season 3 we have a team that rebranded their team to the Crawthorne Crabhammers. I made their logo, actually, so if you'd like to check all of my opponents out, I will leave their Twitter handles and YouTube channels in the description. Go check out the GPC channel, because that will become a regular thing soon, since we have several analysts for the GPC's 4th season. And until next time, with our Week 1 battle, I will see you guys for Week 1. So, here's to a great season. Get hyped, and this is the revenge of the 5 Island Fossils.